Good day. My name is Mike Zekum, and somebody on the Facebook group for Savage Worlds asked about what we do for maps when it's just role playing, no combat is involved. And one of the things that I use is something called a social map. As you can see here, this is one of my social maps called the racetrack. So I just found a random picture on the internet of a racetrack, and I stationed my NPCs around the outside. And when I hover over and hold there for 2 seconds, their journal entry pops up. As you just hover over randomly, it just shows the names. This allows the players to see which NPCs are in the room that they can interact with, and need to figure out who they are. Just hover over, get the name, and if they want more information, they just hover there for 2 seconds, and the journal entry pops up. So how do you do this? The first thing you need to do is install a module called Pincushion, which is available via the Foundry module selections. The most important thing here is that it adds this hover over capability that will display a preview of the journal entry. So once you have that installed, you can then go back to the Foundry and set her up. The settings that I use: Pincushion, show journal preview is selected. I use HTML format. The maximum length is 500, but you can obviously change that if you need to. Preview delay. It defaults to, I believe, 500 milliseconds, but I set it to 2000 milliseconds, so you can just quickly go over the NPCs without having the journal entries pop up all the time. And this is when you create journal entries. You set the default permissions. I just leave it set to none. And that's all I use for my settings. So now that we have Pincushion configured, here's how you actually put a tile on. So first select tiles, then place tile, image browser, pick Mr. Gambucci here, drop him on, put him over to this corner, pressing the Alt key so I get proportional scaling. There we go. And because Foundry added this overhead tile feature, have to make sure that he is not an overhead tile, otherwise you'll get some weird fading effects. He's not. So our tile is now added. So we go to our journal, and we go to the NPC journals. Let's see. So these are all my journals. I have NPCs. So Mr. Gambucci. So what I do is just simply drag him over and drop. Brings up this pop-up. So the entry icon, this is the critical part. I have a custom icon. This game icons called blank. It's simply a 120 pixel by 120 pixel blank icon. I'll include the SVG down below. It's like 5-6 lines, so it's just text underneath. If you've never worked with SVGs before, so I'll select that file, and then I'm going to turn on the background tint because it's easier to place that way. Click Update. And it's too small and the title's too big. So icon size 120. Font size, I believe I use 24 for everyone else. Update. That looks about right. And because we have the tint background, it's much easier to drag it around, line her up like so. That's what I want. A double right click to bring up the box again. Unclick Show Background, Update, and there we go. The other important thing to do is make sure that the permissions for your journal entries are set to Observer. Otherwise, your players will not be able to see the journal entries. Now, if I just go back to the main level or the main setting, the token controls, as I hover over, we now get the information. And double click, We'll bring up the full thing right here. You can look at his image, text, whatever. And that's all there is. There ain't no more. Have any questions? Feel free to post them down below. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I might be making more content like this in the future. I mainly do stuff for spaceship combat games on a different channel, so this is brand new for me doing role-playing game content. Anyways, have a good day. I'll catch you later.